Hey team, welcome back to my channel. The source code for this video is available at my GitHub account. Just go to the address above and get that one file, parts.c. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a struct. We're actually going to write a struct out. We're going to read from a file using the fwrite command, and then we have our main and we're going to populate it with just some sample data, building an array of those struct elements. Let me begin by looking at a struct command. Notice we say struct, and this is the name of our struct, and notice that we're putting an in and we're creating a char of 24 characters called part no and then a float. Now here's the test question. How many bytes does this struct contain? Are you thinking 32? We have a 24 plus a 4, that gives us 28, plus 4 is 32. Hope you got that. Now when we come down to main, notice that we're going to use that struct, and then I'm going to say give me an array of 3 of them. And I'm going to initialize num parts to 0. Then for each element of this struct, I'm going to provide a value. Notice for ID 1, I'm going to use the string copy, take part 1, put that in part sub 0 dot part no. You see that. And then the cost. And then you'll see 0 here. I increment it by 1, and then I'm at 2, which gives me a total of 3 elements. I'm then going to say num parts equal 3. Then we're going to write this out to file. Notice I'm going to send in my parts. That's going to be struct parts, and I'm going to have to send in num parts. Whenever you're dealing with arrays, you always have to tell me the number of elements. That's just the way it is. Now let's go look at write to file. As you can see, the signature is a struct part. Our variable is called parts. It's an array, and then we're sending in num parts. Let's use the function fopen. I'm going to path out the file. Notice it's going to be called parts.bin and write binary. Now if I have a problem opening that file, I'm out of here. Now on num parts, notice I'm looping over it, and we're going to use the command fwrite. So the address of parts sub the first time 0, the size of struct parts, well, we know that's 32. This is saying I want one instance of this. So that'll be just like 32 bytes. And this is our file pointer. Now I'm going to stay inside of this loop 3 times, well, for num parts, and then we're going to close that file. When we're all done, parts.bin will be created and we'll have data. Now that we have written this parts to disk, now let's read it from disk and display it. You can see here we're going to open up that same file, but guess what? We're going to use a different mode, RB. What do you think that stands for? Read binary. If I can't read it, I'm going to get out of here. Now I'm going to initialize num parts to 0. Notice here I'm using fread. So we're going to get the address of part. Notice part is of type struct part. And then size of struct part, we know that's 32 bytes. Get me one instance of that, and this is our file pointer. Now, as long as this fread returns me 1, that means I have data. Now, I'm going to go and populate the address of parts, and then I can use part ID, part no, and cost, and then print it appropriately. Increment my parts, come up, and do another read. Stay inside of this loop until we have read that whole file. Once I get out of here, it's no longer 1. I'm then going to close this file, and then num parts, I'm just going to show total records read. %d is our placeholder, num parts. That's the program. Hope it helps you. And there you have it, team. A simple program to learn how to fopen, fclose, and then read and write. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them below in the comments. Hope to see you back in my next video. Take care.